Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Doc, and today we have a special video for you guys. Since the last time I made that caiman habitat, you guys wanted me to show you step by step how to do one of those, underwater viewing gallery modern builds. And today I really gathered it step by step for all of you guys. First thing you need to know is definitely terraforming. Now, terraforming is very important because if you're starting out from a flat surface, your job is going to be a whole lot harder. It's always better with underwater viewing galleries in this game to start on higher ground. And this tool right here on the second tab will be your friend. It's the indent tool, and if you press X, you can freely move it around without any kind of discrepancies. Now, once you get that one little slot as a viewing gallery slot, you need to flatten everything nicely, and you'll see why in a bit, I promise you. Now we go off to the second step, and that is creating the lake. Now, the lake can be any way you want. In this step, all you need to make sure is from the first step, that you gotta have a flat ground for the viewing area. Now, for the lake and for the viewing gallery, you need to use the third tab on the height mode and use the glass and just flatten everything out. Once you have done that, all you have left to do is to elevate that glass piece, that one glass fence, because that is essentially the barrier between the guests and the water. And you really need to put the height up on that glass all the way to the tip of to the edges of the little mountains you have, so that you can fill it out with as much water as possible. I'm going to be showing you how to also lower it down afterwards. It's actually really easy. You don't need any cheats or anything. You just hold it down. You just, grab the elevation tab on the fence. And as soon as you grab it, it's going to allow you to lower it down. Also, guys, I have to be quiet when making this tutorial because all of my family is asleep at the moment, and I don't want to wake them up, so I'm a bit whispery. I'm very sorry about that. Here I'm just creating a little, island area, half island area for the crocodiles. This is what I mean. You need to elevate that entire place, and now you can just fill it with water, and it will fill up really nicely. And that is already, you have the lake, and you have the foundation. This is the hardest part, to be honest. Now, step 3, pathing. You have to always path first before you start building things, because a lot of people struggle with this exact thing, and here's why you have to flatten everything nicely, because you will have this problem. So once you flatten everything very nicely, you won't have a problem with pathing. And then my suggestion, always build around the path that you made. Never try to path into a building you created, because that's going to drive you nuts in the long run and in the short run. To be honest, that's what I did in the past a lot, and my buildings would never work. That's why so many builds with, path, like special path options in the game from the workshop don't always function properly, because you have to build the path in afterwards, when most of those creators built those paths first before they started building. Step 4 is the exterior. Now, once you have the pathing done, you can just start with the exterior. I'm going to be using the New World pieces because they work awesomely, and especially this one piece. I wish with the aquatic pieces we had something thin like this. The bamboo piece is also this way. There's a few more of these. This is perfect. Now, I'm just going to honestly make a square. That is essential to modern builds. You can make them very, interesting and curvy, but for the sake of the tutorial, we're going to keep them simple. I made like a little rectangle that goes out of the building. My thought is I'm going to make that into either shops, gift shops, toilets. There's enough grids in there for even a keeper hut. Or if you want, just a staff area for your wetland animals. Now, knowing how to do things like this is very essential, I think, to the pack that's coming, because we want to see those animals in water as well as on land. And it's very important to know these. Now, this part, I'm going to speed it up. I'm just using the normal pieces. I'm not using the movable panels much here. I'm just going to be speeding it up so that we don't, just chitter chatter here, and skip over to the next step. Well, the next step in the exterior. Now we have the actual building shape, And I'm going to give you a little speed build because the next part took the longest. Here, I'm just trying to figure out the pathing again, because once you have the basics of the pathing, you can always switch it up afterwards and take it out. I'm using here the plaster pieces for the window side, and for modern builds, especially for underwater viewing areas, this type of framing is amazing, and these windows are perfect because you can recolor them. Now, what I prefer with at least these types of builds to make them more interesting, I take that entire frame out, just like this. And I, of course, lower it to the ground and make some stairs. The guests won't really use the stairs because they'll go right through it, just on the level of the path. And here, I'm just giving some framing. These are the North African plaster pieces, but instead of these, if you don't have the North Africa pack, you can definitely just use the framing that I'm using here as windows or whatever you want. Now, foliage, that cutscene was very fast, I'm sorry. Foliage is very important with builds like these, because terraforming doesn't always, happen to be perfect. It doesn't always turn out amazingly done. Especially with me, like I don't terraform perfectly at all. So I cover it up with a lot of plants. And a lot of plants also work perfect for, any builds like these with aquatic-ish animals. And for crocs, I love this hydra something grass. I don't exactly know what it's called. Here I'm adding some lighting. Now, one more suggestion is, even if you're playing franchise mode, you can always add some lighting to the underwater galleries. Now, interior. Again, sorry for that cutscene. Interior, I'm just covering up that little, rock. Some people like it, I don't. I like to give my, exhibits and underwater viewing galleries kind of like a movie look. So I always covered it with this type of material. This is a plaster. Again, these are the free movable pieces. You can always just also use the normal walls. This roof framing, by the way, works for most animals, but saltwater crocodiles do pass through it. So if you want to use this for salties, or maybe the curious dwarf caiman, or actually curious dwarf caiman doesn't pass through that, but the salties do. I don't know if alligators do. Maybe they're too small, but just be careful with that. Again, here's an example as to why you should always be careful with everything being flat. Now we just skipped to the past for a second because I wanted to show you this. You have to make sure everything is flat. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to give me a feedback or thumbs up, or, let me know if you ever try this. If you try this, feel free to DM it to me on Instagram. My Instagram DMs are always open for you guys. I can't wait to see your creations with this. I hope you can also create things like this now. It's really not that difficult. It just takes a little bit of patience, and if you follow these steps, you will have beautiful, beautiful habitats. And making them square at first really is not a big deal. So don't beat yourself up over making square habitats in the beginning. This game takes a lot of time and a lot of patience, and a lot of people don't know that. I haven't gotten like this from the get-go. I have played a lot of games that are like this before, but I've never, expected how difficult building would be in the beginning, because I had no guidance whatsoever. I didn't know about this community, but it just takes time and patience. If you follow these steps and apply them to other types of builds, you'll be very happy. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope you have a lovely evening. Bye for now.